Hello and welcome, I'm SimUK, and it is my goal to provide to you the most honest, fact-based critical reviews on YouTube. If you find this review helpful, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and help to support the channel by donating via the links below. Thank you so much, and enjoy the review. Stardate 2159. This is Space Crew. Its continuing mission to defend Earth and humankind, to eliminate the extraterrestrial threat, and to boldly go where no crew has gone before in this unique, strategic space simulation. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I've been playing a lot of Space Crew recently, and it has effectively retrained my brain to work at warp speed for long durations, and I think I still have some space lag. Space Crew is effectively Bomber Crew in space. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Oh, you want a proper review, a full review, a critical review? Seriously? Okay, fine. Space Crew is like Bomber Crew, but in space. But my word, it has grown in difficulty. Good luck lasting 7 missions without losing at least one crew member. I guess there are 2 questions. 1, is it any good? And 2, is it any better than Bomber Crew? And I've got to say, yes, on both counts. But if I were in charge of this game, then I would make quite a few changes because the controls are far too clunky, some of the game mechanics are just ridiculously and unnecessarily malicious, and the UI resembles an experience I once had where I tried to play one of those Postman Pat kids games that cost £1 and rock forwards and backwards. I was a little bit too large for it, and my face repeatedly bashed against the screen at the front as it rocked to and fro, but that's a story for another time. Space Crew, like its predecessor, is an RTS micromanagement escapade that feels a little bit like you're being relentlessly bashed around the head with a wooden spoon whilst being bombarded with mathematical quickfire questions, and at the same time it is repeatedly dunking your head under the water for 30 seconds at a time. Yeah, it's pretty flipping stressful. Effectively, you have one ship, 6 crew members, each with their own progressively unlocked skill sets, abilities, and attributes. And everything on the ship, including the equipment that the crew wear, can be upgraded, but only once it's been unlocked and paid for. Progress is painfully slow at times, and rather energy sapping as well. But the sweet release of death, well, that is swift and unforgiving. Things can go from absolutely marvellous to what the just happened in the blink of an eye. Okay, so we've reached Mars, and there is Mars, looking pretty cool. Nice and red and realistically coloured and styled and stuff. With each sortie, you'll get to pick from a number of available missions with varying levels of difficulty, reflected in the rewards that are offered. Each mission requires a certain number of space jumps, and there are quick, dangerous routes and also slower, safe routes. But mark my words, there are no guaranteed safe routes anywhere at any time in this game. You are absolutely responsible for the micromanagement of everything, and I do mean everything. An example: there's a fire in the cargo bay! Quick, number 1, grab a fire extinguisher. Put the bloody fire out! Honestly, if you do not tell them to do it, they will just stand there and watch it burn. This is military micromanagement with a crew of complete imbeciles. Why would you have a fire extinguisher in your hand and not try and put the fires out? It's just so irritating that they don't know to do it. As your crew rank up, they gain special abilities. And there are lots and lots of different special abilities, some of which will slowly kill your crew. And yes, you can jump in an escape pod and self-destruct the ship, which sometimes is more appealing than you might imagine. If you have ever played Bomber Crew, then you pretty much know what we're doing here. Except, in space, there are a few differences. There's no fuel concerns for one. Zero gravity makes things much, much slower. Everything constantly breaks, and that means no oxygen, no shields, no engines, radiation poisoning. Oh, and the enemy aliens, they will also board your ship. But it's all okay because you have guns on board. But do you remember what I said about the fire extinguisher?
Mr. Ferrari, attack that enemy!
This is a game purely about survival against the odds. And the most important thing of all, as stupid and as irritating as they are, is keeping your crew members alive. It takes an awfully long time to train a crew member, and a mere instant for them to die. Miss something important or make too many mistakes, and you will go from an epic crew with a multitude of skills available to them back to a crew who can do nothing at all. And there is no easy way back. This game is hard, on toast, with a side portion of hard, and the controls are so clunky that they don't work in your favour either. I'll go into more detail on that in a moment. Graphically, this looks just the same as Bomber Crew did, except now we've got lasers and planets, which actually do look pretty darned cool. I especially like how Earth rotates and the lights turn on and off according to the time of day. I think it's quite realistic to an extent, except for the crew. They simply will not do anything that you want them to unless you literally spoon feed them the step-by-step instructions in order to do it. And that would be fine if we had a better control system, which I've already mentioned and we'll talk more about in a moment. This game is definitely challenging. It is definitely stressful. And yes, it is also definitely fun. But my word, it could be so much more fun while still being incredibly challenging and incredibly stressful. There are a few things which I feel adds unnecessary stress to this game right now, and I will unload on you completely in a moment, I promise. The audio is okay. It's much the same as Bomber Crew was. Nothing really new to report. Although I do find that the crew chatter is constant and it's quite annoying. A better designed audio feedback system would help players to understand what is going on better, because as it is now, you just have to switch off and ignore the noises they make, because they make so much irrelevant noise, it's annoying. So when they actually have something important to say, you're probably going to miss it. So right now, all there is a single career. There's no multiplayer, there's no co-op, just a single player career. And actually, I think that's okay. And I think it's okay because this game is so demanding and so stressful, it really could end friendships. It's an incredibly stable game. I had no crashes, no stutters, or other unwanted system behaviours to note. But the controls, and I promised I'd unload on you, and here it comes. So prepare yourself, sit down, strap yourself in, get yourself a strong glass of whiskey. This is the problem with the game. The controls, in my humble opinion, are in need of updating and modernising. Right now, everything is controlled with the mouse, and it is just too much. We desperately need hotkeys and the ability to control the camera using the keyboard. The UI is horribly close up at all times, making it exceptionally difficult to navigate and see what is going on around you. So whilst tagging, for example, it would be great if we could just zoom out a little bit more, perhaps at the cost of tagging speed. I'm going to talk more about tagging speed in a moment. I also find that the game's inbuilt zoom in and zoom out mechanic is a little clunky. It basically zooms in one step too far, which makes it very difficult to see what's going on in the ship. I see no benefit to that extra one level of zoom level in, other than it makes things more complicated. So I really hope they do away with that. So the tagging system. By default, it is agonisingly slow. To move your mouse around is just painful. But you can go into the menu system and speed it up by changing the control system there. However, when tagging enemies, you will also tag anything else that is in the vicinity of that zoomed area. So if you have just spent 3 minutes of combative hell to get from gate A to gate B, then you're going to be pretty disappointed to discover that at some point during that combat, you accidentally directed the ship back to gate A, and now you have to do it all over again. This kind of mishap is prevalent everywhere in this game. Pick up a health pack and try to revive a downed crew member who you probably didn't even realise was downed, and you might very well go and sit on their gun sights or pick up a fire extinguisher that happens to be floating around them. rather than actually healing the person themselves, because something about the alignment of the characters against the surroundings meant that your obvious command was completely miscommunicated and that character is now permanently dead. These frustrations and more could all be resolved with hotkey keybinds, which by the way would need to be configurable because right now nothing is configurable and that too is unacceptable in 2020. I find the core mechanics are pretty screwed up too. If, for example, you have a cloaking device unlocked, it will only work whilst you are sat completely still in the seat. So you've spent a long time fighting off the enemy, waiting for it to charge, then you use it and try and put out a fire or jump on the gun in preparation for the next wave of fighters whilst you're cloaked and safe. But as soon as you move that character, it will instantly disengage and you don't get it back. It still has to fully recharge before you can use it again. The same thing happens when you're boosting the ship's energy reactor, and so far almost every single available upgrade that you can buy to put on the ship emits radiation. Why? Why would anyone develop a gun that could emit radiation and kill your entire crew? Who thought that was a good idea? So the upshot is this. I like the art style. I like the concept. I even like the level of difficulty. And for those reasons, I do recommend the game wholeheartedly to you, especially if you're somebody who likes a challenge. There are hours and hours of available gameplay here, and it won't be anything like a pushover. I suspect that very few people will actually complete this game in its entirety if it doesn't change a few things. However, my concerns with this game include the clunky control system, the uncooperative crew members, and the intentional features that make gameplay more complicated in an attempt, in my opinion, to add depth to the game. And this causes endless frustration. For example, sending a crew member to heal the rear gunner only to find that they instead jumped on the rear gun and left him to die. That small mistake has numerous knock-on effects for all future missions, where you effectively will need to start again with a rookie rear gunner, and that in itself is fine, if only for the fact that the mistake was yours and not the game's. If I had control of this game's direction, and I sorely wish that I did, I would definitely make changes to give the game more depth and complexity where it is needed. I would implement a recruitment system to the game, one similar perhaps to how it was done in Cannon Fodder and Cannon Fodder 2. And I hate to share this idea with you because I would like to make this game myself, but in my current situation that seems an unlikely opportunity. We would have new recruits with each sortie, and the crew from the previous mission would require time to heal. They wouldn't just instantly heal in preparation for the next mission. So you would have to make the choice. Do you use the new unqualified recruits in order to take the place of the injured experienced crew and have a fully manned ship with all guns and all positions fully manned, but maybe not with the most experienced of crew? But as missions go by and you start to lose more and more men or women, then you will be expected to crew the ship with less than a full squad. That to me would add huge amounts of fun and enjoyment and just really make the whole game a lot deeper, a lot more involved. But are they going to do that? Are they even going to watch this review? I very much doubt it. Unfortunately, despite these good ideas, I never seem to be able to get the attention of the developers themselves. This game, as I say, is potentially excellent, and if they do make a few changes, hopefully not to the difficulty, because I actually like how difficult it is, I just want the systems and the controls that are in place to work better, to at least give me a chance to play the game the way I want to play it. As it is right now, you're going to have to like stress. You're going to have to be very good at not letting mistakes that cause your entire gameplay to fall apart don't irritate you to the point where you just don't want to play anymore. Because this game, it definitely has the ability to do that. My name's Sim UK. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this review. Definitely take a look at this one, stick it on your wish list, and keep an ear out or an eye out for any updates that they might release. I, for one, feel that I've had enough of this game right now, and maybe I'll come back to it later because it does have some elements of enjoyment, definitely, but as it is right now, it's too stressful, and I'm not enjoying the experience because of the clunky controls. But thank you for watching. My name's Sim UK. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and if you can, please donate a few quid to the channel. It helps us support these kind of reviews in the future and keeps us going. Until next time, take care. Goodbye for now.